Did you talk to Flora?
What?
Did you talk to Flora?
Talk to Flora about what? But
I don't
she
know,
told
because
me, but she told me you said to her you will more 严格 for
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. No, no, like because last week when I saw her and then I asked her about you and she's like, no, she's not replying to my messages.
Ah,
Why? Reply her messages.
you mean?
Like she told me you didn't reply to her messages because I asked her if she talked to you, and then she was like, yeah, but he didn't reply to my messages.
Ah,
Do you understand what I mean?
not sure. Sorry.
So last week when I saw Flora, I asked her
Yep.
about you, right? I said if you guys talked, and then she was like, he didn't reply to my messages.
She didn't reply your
No,
message.
she told me you didn't
Yeah.
reply to her messages,
Ah, really? I missed it.
right? Yes, yeah, that's what she said.
Ah, it's
That's
because
what
I
she said to me.
forgot.
Okay,
Oh,
okay, 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 okay. So let's start with this. Can you see my screen?
yeah.
Good. Vian, we are not going to talk about this today, but I think you did a good job. I think you did a good job fixing the sentences. I think a lot of sentences look much, much better now. Okay, much,
Mm,
much better now. Okay, but given how many verb problems we saw last time, so today we're
mm,
gonna talk about the most important and the most basic part about the whole language, and we're gonna talk about the tenses. Okay, now
mm,
this is what we talked about last time, right? We talk
mm.
about the 12 tenses. Do you still remember how we come up with the 12 tenses?
Two or three.
A tense has a time and a form, right?
Oh,
A
yeah.
time and a form. We have three times. We have the present, the past, the future, right?
Yeah.
And each time takes four forms, right? We have the
Right.
simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. So that's how you come up with the 12 tenses, right? Now, today we're going to start with the easiest, but the easier ones I'm not going to waste too much time on. Okay?
Mm,
Okay?
okay.
Good. Present, simple. This is when you have a subject, you use V1. Do you understand what I mean by V1?
第一个动词
Yeah, what does that mean? Now, in English, we have V1, we have V2, V1, V2, and V3. V1 means the present of the verb. Okay? The present
嗯
of the verb. So, for example, eat or eats,
哦
that's V1, right? Now,
right
V2, we're talking about the past verb. Here, for example, ate.
嗯
V3, we're talking about the past participle, eat, 过去分词嘛, right?
嗯
We
right
also have something called the present participle, 现在分词. What does present participle mean? The end. Past participle, 过去分词, right?
嗯
Present participle, 现在分词. What does that mean? For
哦
example, what's the
v
present
v
participle?
VING
Correct. Eating. Okay. So present simple is when you use a subject to go with the V1. So, for example, I drink coffee in the morning. This is a habit, right?
yep
This is a habit. This is something I do every single day, right?
yep
Understand? Or I work as a teacher. Work is also V1. This is a fact. So we use the present simple to talk about a habit or a fact. This is very easy. We don't need to talk more about this, right?
嗯
present continuous subject. We use am, is, are to go with present participle, the ing, right?
Yeah.
Right. So for example, I am talking to Vian. This is present continuous, correct?
Yep.
Now, my my question to you, Vian, is every single time when you use a continuous tense, when you use an ing verb, are we suggesting this is over or not over yet?
What do you mean over?
Every single time when we use a continuous tense, doesn't matter what continuous tense, are we suggesting the action to be over or not over yet?
Not over yet.
Not over yet. Vian, remember this always. If you see a continuous tense, it means it's not over yet. Okay? Now,
okay.
This is also easy. I'm not going to waste time. Past simple. Subject. This time we use V2. Also very easy. It rained last night. This is a fact in the past, right?
Right.
A fact in the past. Now, these three are the three easiest tense. I don't think you need any help here. However, if we move to the next one, if we move to the past continuous, this is when you have a subject. Instead of MSR, we use was or were. We still use the present participle, right? Right? So if I say I was having dinner last night, Vian, I was having, this is past continuous, right?
Yeah.
But Vian, is this a complete sentence? Remember earlier, Vian, I asked you, every single time when you use the continuous tense, are we suggesting the action to be over or not over yet?
Not over yet.
Not over yet, though. So how do you explain something is both in the past and not over? How does that make any sense? How can something be both in the past and not over?
Having dinner all the night.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is, Vian, you cannot say something is both in the past and not over yet, right? Because in the past means it's over. Otherwise, it's not the past. So for us to say something is both in the past and not over is not logical, correct? Correct? This is not logical. Because something cannot be both in the past and not over, right?
Right.
So how do we fix the problem? I was having dinner last night when someone rang her doorbell. Now it's logical, right? Now it's logical. Can you see that?
Yeah, but I'm not sure it means.
Now I was having dinner last night when someone rang the doorbell. Do you know what rang the doorbell means?
I know.
You know, right?
Yeah.
You know, right? So when you use the past continuous, you always need two things. You need a finished action and an unfinished action. Do you understand what I mean?
No.
Sorry?
No, because what? I was having dinner last night is finished action.
No, that's unfinished.
Unfinished?
That's unfinished because Vian, every time we use the continuous, it's not over, right? It's not over.
But when
remember?
Someone rang the doorbell,
this is over.
Finished.
This is finished. Somebody already rang the doorbell. It's over.
Oh,
Somebody already rang it,
okay.
right? But as somebody rang it, I was eating. I was having dinner. So you need an unfinished and a finished action in a past continuous sentence. Otherwise, the continuous sentence itself doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, you cannot just say I was having dinner last night. It's not logical. You need something else to show why it's logical. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, but I am not sure the situation.
What do you mean you're not sure about the situation?
Let me think.
Mhm.
When someone rang the doorbell, it means finish action. But
Yes.
in 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 what period I was having dinner last night?
I was
having
having
dinner.
I was having dinner last night. Somebody rang the doorbell. I went to answer the doorbell and I came back and continue eating, right? The eating
Yeah.
was not over, right? The eating was not
Uh,
over. Somebody rang the doorbell, so I probably had to open the door, answer the
yeah.
door, and then came back and sit down and continue eating. So the whole having dinner was not over
Uh,
when somebody rang the doorbell, right? But if you only say I was having dinner last night, it doesn't mean anything because you cannot say something is in the past but not over. Do you understand what I mean?
someone rang a doorbell is a was an event or action when I
That is
was
finished.
having dinner last night.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Unfinished is I was having dinner.
Yeah,
Understand what I mean?
I understand.
Okay. The same, for example, as my pizza arrived, I was talking to Vian on the phone. The same idea, right? The
Yeah.
same idea. My pizza already arrived, but I was talking to Vian when that happened. So I had to go and take the pizza and come back to continue talking to him. So the talking part is not over, but the pizza part is already finished. Understand what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. Vian, this is a very, very commonly misused tense because a lot of people, they just say this, I was doing something, blah, 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 and that's it. But that in itself is not logical. Understand?
Mm.
Understand?
Yes.
Okay, good. Next.
But
Present.
sorry.
Yes.
That structure is common when at um let me think 学术文章
Oh, academic writing.
academic writing.
It's not common in academic writing, no. It's common when you give an example, yes. When you give an example, it's common. Or in your speaking test, it's common.
Yeah, because I usually saw the structure at novel book or movie or
Yes, yes.
something.
It's not common in academic writing, but you can use this kind of structure when you are given an example, like a
Okay.
personal experience or like a personal example. But in the speaking test, this is a very, very common type of sentence. Okay, got it?
Okay, got it.
Present perfect, we already talked about last time, right? This is when you have a subject, you use have or has, and then you use the past participle, right? This we already talked about last time. So Vian, remind me, in which two situations do we use the present perfect? Situation number one. I have visited Taiwan 3 times, right? This is an experience, right? This is an experience, right? Or if you say Sam has completed his assignment. This is something happened recently, right? something that happened recently. We use the present perfect in one of those two situations. When you want to talk about an experience or when you talk about something happened recently. However, Vian, last time I asked you, what's the difference between the present perfect and the past simple? Do you still remember?
The time.
When you use the present perfect, do not include the specific time. Okay? If you want to include a specific time, we should go back to the past simple tense. Remember this? Okay, this we already talked about. I don't want to waste time. However, the past perfect, when you have the subject, had, past participle. Now, Vian, can you tell me, based on your own understanding, when should we use the past perfect? Because past perfect, even though looks very similar to the present perfect, sounds very similar to the present perfect, it has nothing to do with the present perfect. It's a completely different tense. So tell me, when do we use the past perfect? In your personal experience, when would you use the past perfect? Let me ask you this. If I give you two sentences, when we got to the theater, the movie started, versus when we got to the theater, the movie had started. You may not know the reason, but Vian, you should be able to tell me the difference between the two sentences. Sentence number one, we have got, we have started, right? They are both the past simple. The second sentence, we have got, past simple, and then we have had started, past perfect. So in terms of their meanings, what's the difference?
The second, the movie starts before.
Correct.
Before they got to the theater.
The movie started first, right? And then we got to the theater. The first is the opposite. We got to the theater first, and the movie started. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
And this is the only time you use the past perfect. The only time you use the past perfect is when you use the past perfect on the past event that happened the earliest. Understand?
Yes.
You have two or more past events. You put the past perfect on the past event that happened the earliest. Understand what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, so for example, Sam rushed to his manager's office, but she, again, what do I put there? Do we say she went home? Do we say she goes home? Or what do we say there? We have rushed, past simple. So we say but means he did not get to see his manager, right? So what verb do we put here? Most people would put she went home, but she went home is incorrect. What's the right verb?
She had gone.
She had gone home. She had gone home. Not she went home. Not she goes home. but she had gone home. Because this happened first, right?
Yeah.
This happened first and then rushed happened. So in other words, Sam did not get to see his manager. Understand what I mean?
Yes.
The end. Let's say you sent me an email a while ago, and then I just replied to that today. So how do I say it? I just reply to the email that you
had sent me.
correct. You had sent me. Because the sending happened before the replying, right?
Yeah.
Understand what I mean now?
Yes.
And the end, this is the only time you use the past perfect. This is the only time. So don't mistake the past perfect with the present perfect. There are two very different tenses. The only time we use the past perfect is when you want to show which past happened first. Understand?
Yes.
Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a very common mistake. Be careful. Okay, this is the only time you use the past perfect. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Present perfect continuous. This once again is when you have a subject, you use have or has been, right? And then the present participle, the ing. So when do we use this tense? For example, I have been teaching for 20 years. Once again, I have been teaching the present participle, right?
Yeah.
And you understand the sentence, right?
我教学20年。
So let me ask you, based on the sentence, am I still teaching today?
Yes.
But is today the first day? Is today the first day I start teaching? Is today the first day I start teaching?
No.
No. This is when you use the present perfect continuous. Okay, something started in the past and is still continuing.
But it's different with experience.
Sorry?
Is that different with experience? I mean, I have visited
This experience?
Taiwan. Yeah.
Yes, it's different because if you say I have been visiting Taiwan, it doesn't make any sense. It means that you started visiting Taiwan and you're still visiting. It's different. An experience is something you already did, right? An experience is something that's already in the past. But when you say I have been doing something, that means it's not over. It started in the past and it is still going on today, right?
Yes.
Do you understand what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
If you say I have been visiting Taiwan, that means you went to Taiwan a few years ago or a few months ago and you're still there. It's different. It's different from an experience because an experience is something that's already over. But these are not over. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, this is when you use the present perfect continuous to talk about something started in the past and is still continuing. Understand?
Yeah, so if I have teached for 20 years, it means this
I have taught. I have taught. If you say I have taught, that means I'm no longer teaching.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, correct.
Taught. Yeah.
Yes. If you say I have taught, that means I'm no longer teaching. Understand?
I understand.
Okay. So this is when you use the present perfect continuous. It's not difficult, but it's not the same as the present perfect. Okay. Present perfect is something that's already over. Present perfect continuous is something that is still continuing. Understand? Good. Past perfect continuous. This again, subject, had been, and again, present participle, right? You got it? Again, this is something that started in the past, and of course, it is not continuing anymore. So, Vian, if I say this, if I say Sam had been waiting for the doctor for 2 hours. Now, is Sam still waiting now?
No.
No. But is this a logical sentence?
Yes.
And remember, earlier we talked about every single time when you use a continuous tense, we are saying something is not over, right?
Yep.
Then how can something be not over but in the past again? Doesn't make any sense, right? Doesn't make any sense. It's the same. This is not logical. Because you cannot say something is both in the past and not over, correct? So just like the past continuous, we need a second action. Sam had been waiting for the doctor for 2 hours when the doctor finally arrived. Now it's logical, right? Now it's logical because, yes, before the doctor arrived, he did wait for 2 hours. But now the doctor already arrived, of course, he's no longer waiting. Understand what I mean? Just like the past continuous, right? We need a secondary action. Okay, you need a secondary action. Otherwise, the sentence itself doesn't mean anything because something cannot be both continuing and in the past. Understand?
But when the doctor arrived, then
not waiting anymore, right? He waited until the doctor arrived.
Yep.
He waited there for 2 hours. Finally, the doctor arrived. Understand?
Let me think.
Okay. He was there for 2 hours. Now, finally, 2 hours later, the doctor arrived. So he's not waiting anymore, right?
但是当医生一到的时候，等待的这个行为不就结束了吗？
Correct. That's exactly what this means. Correct. But up to
something different with 刚刚的
past continuous.
对，因为刚刚是按门铃，
Of course. This is a different tense. It's a different tense. Of course, it's different, right? It's a different tense. Okay. Now, the present perfect continuous is something started in the past and is still continuing.
Yep.
So the past perfect continuous is something also started in the past, but is no longer continuing. This moment. But you cannot only say this because this in itself is not logical. You have to put an end to it. So the doctor arriving is like the period. It's like the period. Okay, now this is over, right? The doctor arriving puts a period to the action. Understand?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, of course, it's different because it's a different tense. If two tenses are exactly the same, then why do we need two? Right?
Yeah.
Of course, each tense is different, right? Of course, each tense is unique. Each tense is different. Okay? Are we clear so far?
Yes.
Vian, congratulations, you already learned the first 8 tenses.
But I think I need more practice.
Yes, I know. And that's your homework for today. I'm going to ask you to
Okay.
create some sentences with using different tenses. Okay.
Uh,
Because I will see you again tomorrow, I'm not gonna ask you to do too much. I'm just gonna ask you to make a few sentences. Okay. But again, we already talked about the first 8. Of course, you're gonna go back and review a little bit. If you have more questions, you can ask me tomorrow. Now we're entering the futures. We have 4 future tenses left. Future simple. Now in school, Vian, how do they teach you to use the future? How to show future?
Just will.
Well, sure. Only well?
Would.
I think the school taught you too. The school taught you well and be going to, right?
Yes.
I'm going to do something, he's going to do something. But there's actually a third way to show future simple, and that is by using present continuous. Present continuous can be used with future simple.
Oh.
Understand what I mean? For example, if I say, I am going to see the doctor next week. And this is be going to, right? I am going to see the doctor next week, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I can also say I am seeing the doctor next week. This is present continuous, right? They are both the future. Can you tell me the difference?
第一个是，那是一个会发生的计划，
Sure.
然后第二个我就不知道。
You are right. The first is a plan. The first is a plan, correct. The second one is a confirmed plan. Do you understand what I mean?
No.
If I say I'm going to see the doctor next week, it means I plan to see the doctor next week. But I have not called the doctor's office. I don't know when I will see the doctor. I don't know which day. I don't know what time.
So not sure.
It's a plan. You plan to do it, but it's not confirmed yet. Do you know what confirm means?
确定。
Yes. So if I say I am seeing the doctor next week, that means I already called the doctor's office. I know I will see the doctor next Wednesday at 10 o'clock a.m. I already made an appointment, so it's confirmed. Understand what I mean?
Yes. Could you give me another example?
Sure. Of course. If I say, I'm going to take the TOEFL test next month. This is a plan, right? Right. But if I say I'm taking the TOEFL test next month, it means
confirmed plan.
yes. It means you already paid, right?
Yeah. So this is 正式的用法吗？ I mean
both are yes, correct.
Okay.
Then the present continuous, this is not casual. 这个不是比较不正式的说法 No, this is not casual. They are both very
can
formal.
be
Yes.
used in
When you write.
academic
Yes,
writing.
yes, of course. Then I will not teach you something that you cannot use in your writing.
Okay.
You can use it. The reason I'm mentioning this because I know in school they didn't teach you that. In school they didn't teach you to use present continuous. So you don't know that you can use the present continuous, but you can. Okay. Both are fine. depending on if the plan has been confirmed or not. Understand?
Yes.
Understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is your be going to and your present continuous. Will is for everything else. If it's not a plan, if it's not a confirmed plan, you use will. Okay. You use will on everything else. Okay. So for example, I will see the doctor soon. Undecided. Right? Undecided. It's not really a plan. I have not decided that yet. Understand? Understand?
That's quite different from undecided and plan.
If it's not decided, it's not even a plan, right?
Yes.
I'm still thinking about it, right? I'm thinking about it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. It's not decided. If it's not decided, then it's not a plan, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, this is something
So
undecided.
if somebody said will, it means she will or not.
No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. When I say I will see the doctor soon, maybe I will, but maybe I won't. I don't know yet. I haven't even decided yet. So if I haven't decided yet, I cannot call it a plan, right? Does that make sense to you? The end. If I have not decided something, I cannot call it a plan, right?
Yes, as I think 什么时候、什么情况下会有这个讲法？
For example, if your mom asks you to, if you're not feeling well, your mom asks you to see a doctor, you don't want to see it. So you can tell mom, okay, I will see the doctor soon. Means that, yeah, I have not decided, but maybe I will, maybe I won't. Right?
所以有时候敷衍别人的时候就会用这种。
correct. Yes, correct.
Oh.
敷衍打发嘛, right? You have not decided yet. Correct. Or if I go to a restaurant, I don't know what to order. So I see the menu. I see the menu and I say, I will have a burger. This is an instant decision, right? Something that I decided instantly. I did not make any plans. I go to the restaurant, I ask to see the menu, and I see the menu, okay, I will have a burger. This is an instant decision, right? Right? Or if you say, I will help you with that heavy bag, this is an offer, right?
I offer. What mean offer?
Offer means, 提出什么. I offer to help. I offer to help. Your bag looks heavy. I will help you with that heavy bag. I will help you carry it. So this is an offer, right?
Yes.
Understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Or if you say, Mom, can I borrow $200? I will pay you back in a year. You probably won't pay her back, but this is a promise, right? You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So Vian, if it's a plan, use be going to. If it's a confirmed plan, use present continuous. If it's not a plan, not a confirmed plan, you use will. That's the conclusion. Understand?
所以大部分的情况下还是用will这样。
Yes, correct. That's why the next tenses we talk about, the future continuous, the future perfect, the future perfect continuous, you will see will. Because in most cases we use will. We only use.
For example, we said I will have a burger. 我们要怎么分辨他是就是敷衍的，还是他真的他马上要做这个？
No. Yeah, this is not敷衍. This is not敷衍. This is an instant decision, meaning it's decided. This is not 敷衍。
Yeah,
Okay,
but
this is
I mean, if somebody said that，我要怎么分辨他说这句话的意思？
It depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. For example, if in the office you ask your coworker, "Hey, what would you like for dinner tonight? What would you like to have for dinner?" And if your coworker say, "Oh, I'll probably have a burger," that's undecided, right? That's undecided, right? But if you guys go to a restaurant together, he actually sees the menu and he tells the waiter, "I will have a burger." Then it's decided. It's an instant decision. It depends on the situation. You should be able to tell, right? You should. But if you ask your coworker, "What would you like for dinner tonight?" And if he looks at you and say, "I am having a burger," that means no matter what, he's having a burger, right? He plans to do it and he will do it. I am having a burger. That's a confirmed plan. Okay? Or if he said, "I'm going to have a burger," then it's a plan. He plans to do it. But the plan might change later today, right? So it depends on the situation. You will be able to tell which one this person means. Okay?
Okay.
Understand?
Yes.
Good. Future continuous. This is when you have a subject. You use will, be, present, participle. Once again, the ing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will be driving to Toronto tomorrow. Why do I choose to say I will be driving to Toronto? Because driving, let's say from New York to Toronto, it's gonna take 6-7 hours. It's not gonna happen right away. So the whole journey of driving, the 6 to 7 hours, we use the future continuous to talk about an ongoing future action. Something that's going to take some time, something that's going to take some effort. Do you understand?
What means ongoing?
Ongoing means it's going to go on for a little while. It's not like, oh, when you drink a glass of water, it take you 1 second, 2 seconds.
Okay.
But ongoing means something's gonna take some time. Okay, let me give you another example. Now, if I say I will arrive the office at 9 tomorrow morning, okay, and then I will leave the office and go home at 5 p.m. Now here, both the arriving and the leaving, we use the future simple, right?
Yeah.
Which means from 9 to 5 is an ongoing action. So I will be working from 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean by ongoing now?
Yes.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah.
Good. This is when you use the future continuous. When you're talking
But,
about a future.
why we use will be? I mean, 为什么要放一个原型的？
因为 will is always followed by a base verb. Will 后面永远是接原形动词，不是吗？
对啊。
So, in order to use the present participle, you need a be. Am, is, are, was, were, right? They're all be's. But if you already say will, you cannot say will am, will are, will is. Will has to be followed by a base verb, and that's why you say will be, right?
I got it.
And you need a be to take the present participle, right? So we say will be. Understand?
Yes.
Are we clear on this one, Vian? Are we clear on this one?
Yes.
Good. the final two, we're going to talk about them together. The future perfect, the future perfect continuous. You probably never use these tenses. You probably never see anybody use these tenses, which means if you know how to use them and use them correctly, you are going to get extra point. Now, future perfect is when you have a subject. You say will have, and then past participle. Okay, so for example, now, if I say, I will finish dinner at 6. Okay, now this is future simple, right?
Yeah.
This is future simple. Now, if I say Vian will call me at 7. Vian, this is also future simple, right?
Yes.
The easiest way to put them together is to say, I will finish dinner at 6 and Vian will call me at 7. That's the easiest way to connect them. However, now this is action number 1, right? This is action number 2, correct? Vian, when the second action happens, is the first action over or not over yet?
No.
When the second action happens, is the first action over or not over?
Over.
Over. And this is when you use the future perfect. Okay, I will have finished dinner by the time Vian calls. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Will have finished. This is when you use the future perfect. When the second event happens, the first event is already over. Understand?
Yes.
Okay. Now here, what I need you to be careful is the calling part, we use the present simple. So don't say, I will have finished dinner by the time Vian will call me. No. Okay. The calling part, you use the present, not the future. So event number 2 will be put into the present simple form. Understand what I mean?
Yeah.
This is when you use the future perfect. Okay? This is when you use the future perfect. Understand what I mean?
Yes.
Okay? The future perfect continuous subject will have been present participle. So again, if I have 2, if I say, I will begin doing my homework at 7 for at least 2 hours. Once again, future simple. Action number 1, right? Now, if I say Vian will call me at 8:30, again, this is also simple. Action number 2, right? Vian, when the second event happens, is the first event over or not over?
Not over.
Not over. This is when you use the future perfect continuous. Okay? I will have been doing my homework for how long?
2 hours.
No, when Vian calls me. An hour and a half when Vian calls. See it? Will have been doing. This is our future perfect continuous, right? And once again, the calling part, we used the present simple. Can you see it now?
这个意思是当Vian打电话给我的时候，我还会持续做功课
I'm still doing it. Yes, I'm still doing it. But I will have been doing this for an hour and a half.
那不是只剩半小时吗？
Yes, Yes. But I will have been doing my homework for an hour and a half, 一个半小时啊, because I started at 7, right? He calls at 8:30. So an hour and a half, correct?
他是说我已经持续做了1个
Yes.
半小时。
Yes,
哦
correct. Correct.
哦
Okay. For an hour and a half, 90 minutes, right? When VM
yes
calls. Okay. So when the
okay
second event happens, the first event is still continuing. And that's when you use the future perfect continuous. Understand?
yes
Do you understand the difference now?
yes
Good. VM, congratulations. You just learned the 12 tenses. You just learned the 12 tenses. That's it. That's it.
okay
You just learned the 12 tenses. Okay.
okay
Now there are easy tenses, there are more difficult tenses. Again, I will send this to you. I need you to spend some time going over this. And if you have any question, about any specific tense, remember to ask me tomorrow. Okay. Remember to ask me tomorrow. I can give you more examples. Okay. Again, I'm going to ask you to create some sentences today. Send them to me when you finish. Okay. It's important for you to know when to use each tense. This way, you will have fewer verb problems because you will know when to use what verb. That will reduce the number of your verb problems. Okay? Do you have any questions?
Could I have a large amount about the work?
What do you mean?
I mean, I want to practice a large amount.
You want more? You want more sentences?
Yeah.
No, sure,
Could
of course.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Okay.
It's up to you, right? It's up to you. What I need you to do, I'm not gonna tell you what kind of sentences to write. I'm just gonna ask you to make a sentence with this tense. You can write whatever sentence you want, but try to make sure you use them accurately and correctly. And when you send them to me, if I see problem, we're gonna talk about them. But it's important that you try. You try the different tenses, you try the different verbs, okay? And then if I see a problem, if I see an issue, we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, Vian?
Yeah.
Okay, and tomorrow, other than looking at those sentences, other than answering your questions, we're gonna go back and talk about the sentence that you corrected. The next lesson we're gonna talk about is going to be very basic as well. We're gonna talk about the different sentence types, the different types of sentences. Yes, I will show you what types of sentences can get you extra point in the test. Okay. Most of your sentences are simple sentences. So I'm going to show you the different types of sentences and how you can get extra point by using some compound, complex, or even compound complex sentences. Okay. But I think overall you did a pretty good job correcting your own sentences. So tomorrow we're going to continue talking about this. But the most important thing about today is that you need to know the 12 tenses and how to use each one of them individually.
Yes.
Spend some time going over this. And if you have any questions, please ask me tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Is everything clear?
Yeah.
Good. You have a nice the rest of today, okay? Hopefully you do something fun. It's kind of depressing that you don't have any plans. So hopefully you go and do something fun, okay?
So could I have so 我今天就会有这个作业的，对不对？
Sorry?
我今天就会有这个作业。
Yes, yeah, I will send it to you. Yes, today.
Okay, thank
yes,
you.
Today. Vian, you're the first student asking for more homework.
Because I think I need it.
Yes, you need to practice. Okay, you need to practice. So I will send this to you before you start making sentences. Make sure you go through the notes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And then ask me any questions if you have them tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Good. I'll see you tomorrow then.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Thank you.
5 p.m. Bye.
Bye.